I rented a car and it saved my life.
If you've ever been to Atlanta, Georgia, you'll know that there are a lot of forests. Big, lonely, dark forests that can take hours to drive through. I've grown accustomed to these forests and the quiet roads. I have family that lives just outside of Atlanta, and the quickest way to them is to take a plane to the city, and then brave the forest's embrace to meet them on the other side. With the amount of holidays, birthdays, and get-togethers my uncle and aunt had, the process of getting to their small neighborhood became almost autonomous. Fly on the plane, rent a car, drive through the woods, stay a while, drive back, fly home. Perhaps that's where the trouble began. I had taken my safe passage through the woods for granted. I had assumed it owed me clemency, that I had a right to traverse it unharmed. It owed me no such thing. Last month I went over to their house for the wedding of my uncle's son. It was cheaper to stay with them than to book a hotel, and between having to buy my means of travel both on land and in the air, I gladly took the freebie when it came my way. My ritual was unbothered until I went to the airport parking garage and saw the empty parking slot. I looked at my phone again. I was not mistaken, this is where the car I rented should be. Almost in a daze, I stared at the empty concrete until I heard a voice behind me. "Looking for something, sir?" Almost in a daze, I stared at the empty concrete until I heard a voice behind me. "Looking for something, sir?" Almost in a daze, I stared at the empty concrete until I heard a voice behind me. "Looking for something, sir?" Almost in a daze, I stared at the empty concrete until I heard a voice behind me. "Looking for something, sir?" Almost in a daze, I stared at the empty concrete until I heard a voice behind me. "Looking for something, sir?" Almost in a daze, I stared at the empty concrete until I heard a voice behind me. "Looking for something, sir?" Almost in a daze, I stared at the empty concrete until I heard a voice behind me. "Looking for something, sir?" Almost in a daze, I turned around to find an elderly man in uniform. His shirt had the symbol of the rental company plastered across it, and he wore a small yellow name tag that sported the title Balam. I explained to him my situation, how my rental car must have been misplaced or taken. He nodded along, processing my words one at a time. When I finished, he looked through his phone briefly before addressing me. He stated that the car had accidentally been rented to someone else, but I would be given a replacement to use instead. He led me down the dark shadows of the parking garage until stopping in front of a white SUV. It looked to be a newer model. The man handed me the keys and I accepted the offer without much more thought. It was only as I left the garage that it occurred to me the man had taken the keys out of his pocket. He never went to any storeroom or container that would house the keys to all the different cars in the garage. He had already had it on him as if he knew I was coming. Strange, yes, but not strange enough for me to want to go back and ask him about it. I continued my march towards the forest. Everything was the same at first. The trees, the air, the setting sun, all familiar staples to me at this point. The car was undoubtedly more expensive than the one I had actually rented, its main difference being a screen where the radio would be. I had plugged my phone in it to charge and had set the Maps application so it would lead me to my aunt's house. I already knew the way, of course, but the app would alert you of upcoming traffic or if you needed to take an alternate route due to construction. The Map application popped up on screen, the line leading steadfastly forward towards my destination. The Map application popped up on screen, the line leading steadfastly forward towards my destination. The Map application popped up on screen, the line leading steadfastly forward towards my destination. The Map application popped up on screen, the line leading steadfastly forward towards my destination. The Map application popped up on screen, the line leading steadfastly forward towards my destination. The Map application popped up on screen, the line leading steadfastly forward towards my destination. The Map application popped up on screen, the line leading steadfastly forward towards my destination. The road was quiet. The moon shone above in the sky, casting the road in a twilight haze. My radio was off and the only sounds in the forest were that of my wheels against the road, and the occasional vocal instruction from the map device. Turn left, turn right, keep going straight. Eventually, my mind began to tune it out on its own. The fog was only cut when, halfway through the trek, I approached a familiar four-way intersection. Turn left. That wasn't correct. The thought snapped me out of my stupor and I slowly guided the car to a stop as I approached the stop sign. I looked at the screen, scrolling around the surrounding area.